Good morning, morning. Good morning, morning.
Thank you, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. Of course, we're chatting sports this morning. Beautiful Friday, 24 May. Beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. This time I'm joined by some footballers. Well, one used to be a footballer and one is a coach. Well, one now manages. Yeah? Mr. Cadette, Huey Cadette, and Mr. Nigel De Souza. Thank you guys so much for joining us on set here this morning. Of course, joining me on set here this morning. And we're talking about Trinidad and Tobago Premier League Tier 1, right? That's it?
Correct.
And of course, the season that you guys would have had a debut season, and you would have ended the season in 6th position out of what, 11 teams on the table?
Correct.
11
correct,
teams. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. Cadette, as manager, because before the season started, in an interview you would have mentioned that, hey, you want to be realistic as possible, and you're looking at a mid-table finish. And basically, you all finished mid-table. Do you have the lotto numbers?
We'll talk after.
So tell me about, the reason for you, because, you guys won out Tobago League, won out the Tier 2, and then, you said mid-table would have been the best for a realistic finish for you guys, and you ended at the mid-table. Tell me about that, that point you made there and ending at the mid-table.
Well, I think the word you use was realistic.
Yeah.
But I think what we also recognize is that it was really about, even with the limited time that we had to make the transition, I think that realism came from the team that we have.
Right.
In people like Coach Williams, Terry as technical director, Nigel, and myself in terms of the administrative, we recognize that, hey, this is a big step. But all of the things that go into making a team successful at that level, both on and off the field. And when we looked at it and we said, hey, listen, we recognize that we have the talent.
Yeah.
We have the talent. We know that Tobago has always had the talent. It was the effort and the commitment is what is required, and of course the support of the field. And I think when we looked at all of those things, we said, hey, we felt that mid-table was going to be going to be good. And I think we gave a very good account of ourselves. When you look back at match day 3 and the standings, when we had lost our first 3 games, but
you played against some big teams in defense sports. I think that was easy for
people were saying, nah, man, we fit boys, and to see how many match days later that we up on top there and having contended, we didn't only come. We contended.
We didn't make up numbers at all.
We didn't make up numbers, and that had to do, with our coaches and their effort, and our players, and the dedication and the effort that they put out. I just really in the background was just trying to facilitate and make sure that it could happen.
Yeah, and of course, Coach Nigel, I'm sure that you would have endorsed realistically finishing mid-table. But having played the season, you felt that you guys could have probably finished higher on the table?
You never want to look back at what you did. Going through the process of learning, because that's on the job for us.
Right. Yeah.
And I tough on the job because you're asking guys to go from amateur and in the space of a month, ask them to be a professional player. That is not
professional in the sense that it's the highest league in the country and they're getting paid as well.
Yeah, but
not professional
you're asking persons to change eating habits.
Okay.
Liming.
Right.
How we train. The intensity we train. Being a professional is more than just we go and play the game. There's a lot leading up to that before you even reach on the field. So we finished mid-table, and I thought it was a very good effort from the guys. Of course, you look back at a couple of games that if it went this way, but all in all, we are proud, but not satisfied.
Proud but not satisfied. Not satisfied in what areas or area?
We want to do better next season. We are proud of this season, obviously, but my message to the guys is be proud, of course. First season. And when we looked at the table last season from the teams who went up, and even bigger teams who have been in the league for a number of years, and we see where we finished, and we are proud of that, but we're not satisfied as yet.
Yeah, and in terms of preparing for next season, has that started already? Because I made a social media post about that, right? And that obviously you guys understand now what's needed to play at that level. And I'm sure, given the think tanks that you guys have, the backroom staff, Coach Williams with all his experience, Shelton and all them guys supporting, you are already plotting for 2025. I mean, what are some of the things you think you need to change to really be higher than 6 next season?
Well, one, we'll get a proper preseason this time. I mean, because again, it was just a month.
Right.
And I say a month, probably a couple of weeks.
Right.
We get the news and then, so
Right.
the guys had no time to rest. We didn't, and then we didn't have a
Right.
proper preseason in terms of what a preseason looks like. Everything was kind of condensed in the space of 3 weeks. So one, we will definitely have a proper preseason. And then obviously now, seeing the levels we need to reach physically, mentally, psychologically, because you're dealing with young players, you're dealing with players who things ain't go their way because you've been on this high for so long and then you get knocked a little bit, you know. So now we see, hey, this is where we need to be, how we need to behave, how we need to act. And then you look at recruitment. But this week we have just been resting.
Right?
And then, I mean, we had the initial discussions, but obviously we'll get into it as we go along for the next couple of weeks.
And you were able to maintain all the players that you started with?
No.
Some players dropped off the wheel.
We had players in and out along the way. Again, the commitment needed to play football at this level for 7 months straight is nothing easy. It's no easy feat for a lot of the players. Plus, we had Arthur, who was one of our better players.
Fantastic,
he went outside, you know, so he got opportunity to go outside and play. So we was happy for him to allow him the opportunity. Definitely.
And I want to bring in, that's my next question to Mr. Cadette, in terms of players that would have been seen by the national coach and would have been called up. Adriel George, I mean, if you haven't seen Pheonix play, and you see Pheonix play for the first time when you see Adriel George, naturally you say, hey, that guy's a national player in that sense. So, Mr. Cadette, tell me about the players that would have been called up to trials. I know Jem would have also made a call up, and now Jarrell is playing outside. I mean, what does that mean for Pheonix in the sense that, hey, next season you are more attractive and you may get more players or better players on Tobago that want to play with you guys?
Well, I think it's for us as a club, we've been proud. It's no surprise. I think what playing at this level offers is really the exposure. Because it is the league, it is the forum that the national setup looks at. All right, so it's not so that while all of these guys may have been playing, all of the talent that might exist in Tobago itself, whether in the TFA or whatever, the reality is that the league is the forum which the national setup will be looking at. So that I think that exposure is what I think we sent signals very early in terms of in terms of our style of play and those games where we came out and contended and slayed some big giants. So I think we have been I think only for Pheonix alone, but I think all of Tobago should be proud to suggest that we have had the opportunity to see 2 players coming out of Tobago. Very often in the past, what you might have had is players who are campaigning with teams in Trinidad, getting called up, and you still had in this circumstance, you had Jamal and Showtime.
Jamal,
who got called up, right? Who played Club Sando and kind of. But for 2 players who are based in Tobago to get called up, it says a lot, and I think we are happy for them. I think what it says for the rest of our and of course Jarrell going out. But it says for the rest of our players and team, and of course with the rest of Tobago, listen, this is an opportunity for exposure. If your desire is to get to football and to play at the highest level, or to play at another level, this is a chance. This is your chance now.
Fantastic. And in terms of the support from the Tobago public at the Dwight York Stadium, I mean, can you speak to that?
And I tell you guys this after the season finished. We had some supporters there, and we would have spoke about this. Outside of probably the first initial 2 games when we went down, there's no bigger support throughout the league than that of Tobago. And listen to me, they'll cost you,
but they show up.
For that, we have been really grateful. I'm really thankful that throughout the season they have come. The voice, the chanting, the vex, the cussing. But when we play well and we win, they're right. But they have been throughout the season and we can ask for anything more from them.
Well, fantastic. And Mr. Cadette, I mean, we're looking to wrap in terms of a sponsor, because they're playing at the highest level here now. 1976 FC Pheonix. Are we going to see like an Angus Stewart Pheonix next year? We're going to see a Caribs. Anything in the pipeline in terms of a goal sponsor for the club?
Well, we're hoping that they will hear what they have to say, but we and that's why now we begin to to do all the things. We have been having discussions with persons continuity, and that's always the challenge or the excitement about this. You know, you had to be dealing with both the present and the future at the same time. So while we were in the midst of course, the current season, we were already beginning to plan for the season ahead. So yes, we are in discussions and we are open to and our approach has been that, listen, we don't have to have necessarily a goal sponsor, you know, one cocoa does fill basket. And that's how we have been able to go through both the tier 2 and succeed now at the tier 1, is that we have had a lot of persons come in and say, hey, listen, I can help in this way and I can help in that. And that has taken us through and we are grateful. Of course, we will be in the days ahead. In this time now that's considered the off season, we will be of course putting out our thank yous and reaching out to those entities and those individuals who would have supported us, while of course at the same time beginning to plan and to tie up how we go forward and what we can do to make sure that 24-25 is even more successful for us as a team. I think we want to be able now to challenge for the even higher place on the table and expose even more players.
I appreciate that, man. Of course, just before I let you guys go, once again I want to congratulate of course that's my home club. Again, I'm gonna Coach Chung, and of course all the players that would have actually competed this year for you guys. I'm hope that they will come again. Right, and more players will want to represent the Pheonix brand. Any final words before you go?
Just we are grateful and thankful for all the support we have been given. Thanks to the players. I think the sacrifice this season was tremendous. Making the jump up and they did their best, and they see the level that they could get to. And then the supporting staff, Terry Williams, Shelton Williams, Joel Allen, Lionel Winchester, NBC Hall, who came on a little later on. Cadette, Mr. Huey Cadette, all of them would have supported and played a part in what we were able to achieve, and we just happy.
Fantastic. Of course, the viewers have been chatting there with Mr. Nigel De Souza, head coach of the 1976 FC Pheonix team, and manager Mr. Huey Cadette. They have finished 6th in their debut season of the Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League. I think that's a remarkable achievement, given it's the first time they would have actually joined the top ranks, and I'm expecting better things come 2025. So guys, thank you so much for being here, and all the best going forward. Viewers, going to take a short break. Final interview coming up. We're going to talk about some swimming. Mr. Moses De Noon, he joins me on set. Short break, but don't forget to share the live, share the live.